What's going on, geeky people? Welcome back to Big Gold Belt. My name is Zero Gravity, the horror connoisseur, and today I just gotta tell you about this movie. I gotta tell you about this movie. It's called Out of Darkness. It's been a long time coming. This is the directorial debut of Andrew Cummings, and it had its world premiere at the BFI London Film Festival back in 2022. So again, it's been a long time coming, but now it's going to be gifted to the public finally in theaters only on February 9th. Get this, a Paleolithic horror film that takes place 45,000 years ago. Can you see why I would be hooked immediately? Okay, the synopsis is as follows. In the Stone Age, a desperate gang of early humans band together in search of new lands. But when they suspect a malevolent, mystical being is hunting them down, the clan are forced to confront a danger they never imagined. Sounds good to me. I don't know. I don't know about you, but sounds good to me. And I'm about to tell you about it. So, on the surface here, what we have is a super minimal horror survival story. And what I mean by that is we have a small cast, less than 10 characters, extremely limited dialogue, a very basic enemy, and very few shooting locations. But if you want to take a deeper look, however, there is a ridiculous amount of complexity here. And again, if you're that type of person that likes the F off movies, you can definitely watch this movie for what it is and F off. But I do encourage you to look a little bit deeper because one watch wasn't enough for me. I had to get a second one. So, what's so contradictory about this film is that all of its pieces are simple, just like the basic concept is simple, but they're all executed in really complex ways. So, for starters, the dialogue in Out of Darkness is actually a fictional language called Tola. And this dialogue, language, dialects, prehistoric, whatever, was created for the film, which is really cool. But even then, there's not much of it. There's not much dialogue at all. We definitely don't need it though, because the cast are so strong in their expressions and their body language. We already understand everything that we are intended to, maybe a little bit more if you even want to speculate. Our lead character, who's named Bea, played by Safia Oakley-Green, was just a delight to watch and really easy to root for, too. Chronologically speaking, I'm pretty sure that you can call her the first final girl. I don't know about that. If you know of a movie that takes place longer than 45,000 years ago, please correct me. I would love to be fact checked. But I wasn't alive 45,000 years ago, but I would imagine the human race weren't holding too many long, complex discussions anyway, just survival. So the limited dialogue and able to express storytelling and how characters are feeling just through expression and body language also adds a little bit of world building. And I know we didn't have cameras back then. We didn't have much of anything, but it did suspend my belief, and I was able to believe that we are really way back when right now. So, as far as cinematography goes, there's not a lot of diversity in what could be physically captured in this story. But the use of super duper close ups, super wide shots, and all sorts of funky camera tricks drive the suspense level of storytelling all the way through the roof. And it also helps disorient the audience to feel similar to what the characters are feeling. So, sometimes editing can really have us messed up and the audience is confused, but it makes sense here because we're disoriented just like the characters are, and it adds just like another layer of intensity to the whole film. On top of that, editing and score also assist with synchronizing the audience to the characters by keeping the whole hour and a half runtime running at like 120%. We don't really have any breaks here. It's just through and through until you get to the end. There's painfully long stretches of silence that adds just like super anxious blanket over everything. And the only way to escape that super anxious feeling is when the score kicks in. And of course, bass heavy as it is, paired with super fast edits to, for lack of better words, give you something to mentally run from while the characters on screen are also running for their lives. But at the end of the day, I think my favorite thing about Out of Darkness is that it successfully translates a message on how to digest patriarchal societies and how we survive in them as humans and especially as women. And I was just so impressed to see a story that is so crazy relatable to 2024 that takes place 20,000 years ago. I don't think that's the easiest thing. And I was really impressed by that. There's a lot of parallels that just humans are going to do what humans are going to do. Good things, bad things, things that are driven by instinct. But at the end of the day, after watching this film, I can honestly say that ain't shit changed. And humans are going to human. And whether it be in an advanced society like we live in 2024, or we be in real Paleolithic times just struggling for survival, there's definitely parallels. And I would say that's the number one reason that you should check this movie out. But it's just beautiful. It's beautiful all the way around. Cinematography is amazing. The score is gripping. The performances are really, really good. And I know I've said this before on the podcast, or sorry. And I know I've said this before on the show, but there's only so much that a great actor can do with a really bad script. Imagine a script being handed to a phenomenal actor with maybe 10 to 17 sentences total, and to run with it and to have a product that comes out as seamless and as pulling and emotional as this. You got to see it. What else can I say? You got to see it. Well, that's about all I can say without spoilers. But just make sure you have a cup of water next to you. Not condoning the smoking of a cigarette, but it's tense. It's definitely tense. Um, that's all I got to say, y'all. Um, Anyone else know of any Paleolithic horror movies? Because I would really like to know. This was the first for me. And I'm smelling a little bit of subgenre showdown. So if you can enlighten me, I would love for you to let me know in the comments. If you go out and see this one in theaters on February 9th, let us know. I would love to know your thoughts. Let's talk about it. But until then, I will see you at the theater on February 9th to see Out of Darkness. And until next time, thanks for watching. I've been Zero Gravity.